How's it going, Blazers? We're going to bring you specifications you can relate to so you can have an educated decision on your purchases. This is one from Bestech. This is the malware. There's a Todd Knife and Tool knife. This is actually their second one that came out, so this is a great thing to see. I think this one has really come together for Todd Knife and Tool as well as Bestech. So far, this is the one that I feel has had the best fit and finish type of thing, best overall completion of design, the detent where it is, how the detent's working. So I'm really looking forward to see what Bestech has to offer. If this is where they're going with things, they have a little bit to polish up on. I think they're going to be really up there to really give some competition to Wii knives if they stay onto this path. So it's going to be a nice thing to see. So thank you to Bestech providing this knife, also for the pass around group, for the Apex pass around. So it's a great thing to see. Wes, thank you very much for sending this one along. So this is one that's going to be great. And then a side note, just to kind of share, if anybody's watched the movie Ashby, I just watched that movie and then it came out in like 2015, but I think it's a great movie. It's a mix of life, humor, as well as an assassin. So it kind of will meet all the different steps for you. So if you want a movie for a date night or something, it might be a good movie to get or actually watch. And then I just bought it afterwards. So side note to that. This one does have S35 VN. So for corrosion resistance, it's going to be running about the 70th percentile. For hardness, about 60th. And then also for comparing it to all the super steels out there, there's going to be also about the 60th percentile in looking at that steel chart here. So comparison-wise, we're going to be looking at a few different ones here. This is going to be the Blur. This one's one from Tuya Knife. This is one that they offer for the micarta scale for their Talisman. And then we also do have regular Delica, because a lot of people have those. And then we have the full-size Reptilian. I'm glad to have this one back too. And then I really like the gold on that for my personal preference. I did add the thumb stud to that as well for the knife. And then for what I feel for this malware knife, I think like this style or this size, as well as kind of a little bit more of a sweep blade. So like the Leak, how this is, so a little bit shorter on it, and then kind of a more of a sweep blade. Because for this one, I found that I was kind of hesitant to bring this out in public, because even though it's kind of a gentleman's knife in a way, it is a little bit more of a tactical type of thing for it. So that's where I think if it was just a little bit softened, it would be a lot more, at least in my public side, a little bit more public friendly for my workplace. So that's the one that I think for that. We'll also look at the hand sizing. So adult women's hand, we're going to look at that one. This one also comes in about 3.68 ounces. I got about 3.7 on the scale, and then adult male hand, we're going to be looking at that. And then we'll look at also the pull. So about 2 to 3 pounds is a pretty good level for a pull for a flipper tab. At least that's what I feel on it. So if you feel differently, do let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you also do like the content, then do consider subscribing to the channel as well. So more and more that I continue to do the channel and the videos, the more I'm told that I sound like Jeff Goldblum, which is, I've owned it already. So welcome to the channel. This is Jeff Goldblum, and that's 2.7, 2 pounds, 7.4 ounces. So really a good place up there for this knife. I think it's something with the cadence of my voice and kind of my thought pattern and how it kind of goes. So either way it goes, that's a good pull on it for this knife here. It does have the light switch. So all the different opening methods for this is going to be light switch. It does have the thumb stud or thumb opening, middle finger flick for it. Oop. And that one wasn't as good as it goes. So there we go. So middle finger and also a pinch and roll type of thing. You cannot inertia flip this out. So as much as you try and flip this open by inertia, it's not going to work for that. So D10's really good for that. Current pricing on this one is going to be about $196. That is through Blade HQ. You can get it for less also through White Mountain Knives. So if you use the discount codes, I think Slicey Dicey has one, LTK has one, and also not Blue Car, but the Knife Beater. Lefty Love also has his code. So check out those. You get 10% off. It would come out to $189.47, MSRP of $245. For this one, it is a Warncliffe style blade, and then it flat ground as well. And then one thing that you'll notice for this one, let's bring this thing over. So they said this is not an error. So if you see on the blade itself, it does have kind of a sweep up for the tip. And according to his video, this is on purpose. So if you did get this knife and you're like, well, they messed up the grind, it's horrible. They actually meant to have that type of sweep up. So that it is not a mistake for that. That is on purpose for the knife. So just to put you at ease, if you do pick this up and you just freak out because it's like the tip of the blade just horrible, it's misground. So just a note for that. This one has, it's about 3.875 inches for the blade. And then this one also is about 0.62 hundredth behind the edge thickness. So about 6 pieces of paper. So taking in all those numbers, and it's basically the 24 thousandths behind the edge. So 6 pieces of copy paper, take it out of your machine, hold that together, and that's going to be taking off that sharpened edge. That's going to be what it is behind the edge, is 6 pieces of regular copy paper for it. This is right hand tip up only. And one thing I still like about the Todd Knife and Tool pocket clips is it's very intuitive with this divot. So as you're taking it out of your pocket, your finger kind of grabs onto that area and you can take it out. So it actually kind of has a purpose to the style of it. So I do like that quite a bit for this blade. And also, well, even the other Todd Knife and Tool one for the Roxy. So for the sharpness, 260 is what I got for it, and then that came out to new high-end cutlery. So that's where it is for the sharpness for this blade here. So some of the ones that I feel are where I feel that Bestech can improve a little bit more is going to be kind of just those last little flourishes on it. So if you look as far as the pivot, this is going to be a little bit, let's get that in focus. So the pivot is a little bit off for the graphics on it. So that is kind of a nitpick for it, but I didn't notice it right off the bat when I picked it up, is that is a little bit off centered for that pivot. So for their graphics, it's not like spot in the middle. So that's one thing I'd still out for that. And then also, what was there else? That was probably about it, really. So overall, I mean, it just really worked out well for this knife. And I think if they continue with this type of lineup, the kind of the finishes of it, where the D10 is, because if you see as far as when you release it, so you got there, so you can, so that distance is basically where it goes on to the detent ball. So it's not very far for that. So it makes it enjoyable to actually open and close the knife for it. It doesn't have any of the jimping here, which is great because a lot of their other knives, I remember the Beluga has jimping here. So every time you flip it, your finger is raking across that jimping. That's not really that great there. And then also this one does have a little bit of a sharpness right here at this edge, but it's not horrible. Don't really notice it too much, but just running your finger over it, you do kind of notice that a little bit in kind of just looking over the knife. So that's the things I would do for it. But buy, I would say this is a buy knife. If you do like it, if it's something that is your style, then I would pick it up. I enjoyed it while I had it, and it's going to be going around to the pass around group. But still, kind of my personal preference on it. would be a little bit smaller and just a little bit less of a aggressive blade style for it. So pretty much kind of like the Leak in a sense. You can still keep some of the original lines and designs, but that's just my preference for that. And so check it out. Appreciate the time. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and thank you for your time.